Hi viewers, Andrew back again and welcome to another video. Today's video is actually going to be split into two parts. It's a DVD and Blu-ray update. I've picked up a whopping 27 movies in the past week and a bit, or 2 weeks actually. I've bought a lot of stuff locally as there's been a lot of cheap sales and great deals, and I've also imported some stuff. So sorry guys, I can't really cram 27 movies into one video without basically just quickly showing the title and putting it down. However, I like to discuss the films a little bit, so I'm going to have to split it into two parts. So sit back and relax and enjoy, and we'll get started now. This is in no particular order, I've just randomly split the movies up, so let's get into it. Now I've only picked up 3 DVDs this time, and they are Del Toro's masterpiece, The Orphanage. Now, I haven't actually seen it, but I've heard this is a masterpiece of his. I have seen Pan's Labyrinth, however, and it's an absolutely brilliant film, and I've heard this one's another great film of his, so I'll probably sit down and watch it after I've done making the video. So that's The Orphanage. The next DVD I picked up is Balls Out, the Gary Houseman story, starring Sean William Scott out of American Pie, and the main reason I picked it up is it was in the bargain bin, and it's a tennis movie. I'm a huge tennis fan, I play tennis, and there's really not a lot of tennis movies around, so I thought I'd give it a watch, and it's decent. However, it's certainly not the best sports title. They kind of went the whole comedy route a bit more than I would have liked. It's definitely more comedy focused than it is tennis focused, which is a bit of a shame for me, but there's still some good tennis moments throughout the film. So yeah, if you're into comedies or sport films or tennis, give Balls Out a shot. It's fairly decent. Next up we have a UK import, and it's a gay themed film called Beautiful Thing, about 2 British teenagers who fall in love. They live next door to each other in a big housing estate, and I have to say, for a movie of this genre, very good. I know there's a lot of crap gay themed films, but this is definitely one of my favourites. Great storyline, brilliant acting, and it's got a very happy and upbeat ending, so that's Beautiful Thing. Next up, we have an Australian film called Two Hands, starring Heath Ledger. Now, I'm not too sure how many of you have seen it or are familiar with it, but if you're looking for an Australian film that best sort of shows Australian culture in the late 90s, I'd say give this one a watch. It shows off Australia in the late 90s, or in Sydney, pretty well. Basically, it's a film that stars Heath Ledger. He gets involved with these group of people who are money launderers, basically. He gets offered a job where he has to deliver a woman a large amount of money. However, something happens and she doesn't answer the door. So he wanders off to the beach and waits and goes for a swim, and these street kids end up taking the money. And that's basically the sort of storyline. The rest of the movie sort of follows 2 storylines, one about Heath Ledger trying to sort out the money with these bad guys, and of course the other storyline with the street kids. But yeah, this is a very good Australian film. Heath Ledger does an amazing job. It's one of his earlier roles, so I'd highly recommend Two Hands. And the next film is another Australian film, slightly more well known, and that is a horror film called Wolf Creek. And I have to say, very good storyline throughout the film. The director, story writer, and the actors all did an amazing job to really build up the tension, build up the characters and story. Just really brilliant. Definitely one of the better storylines in a horror film of recent times. But yeah, this is actually based off of a true story of Ivan Milat, who's a famous Australian serial killer known as the Backpacker Killer. And I have to say, the serial killer in this film is called Mick. He has the most creepiest laugh I've ever heard. But yeah, if you're after a very good storyline in a horror film, I highly recommend picking up Wolf Creek. It's brilliant. Okay, the next 4 films are actually upgrades from my DVDs, and the first one is A Single Man. Absolutely amazing film. Love, love, love it. Brilliantly directed, considering it was the first film that the guy directed. What's his name? Tom Ford did a magnificent job. Colin Firth stars as the main character. Excellent performance. Looks absolutely stunning on Blu-ray. There's some very, very nice intense shots throughout the film, and they look superb on Blu-ray. So that's A Single Man. The next one is Wes Craven original, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Absolutely classic 80s horror film. Not much more can be said. I'm sure most of you have seen it. So that's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Next up is a film called Milk. Now this is based off a true life person called Harvey Milk, who was the first openly gay man to run for major public office. Very, very interesting. Yeah, loved the storyline, found it to be so fascinating and interesting. Sean Penn, who plays Harvey Milk in the film, amazing job. He really pulled off the character very, very well. So yeah, this is brilliant. So that's Milk. And the next one is Pan's Labyrinth, my favourite foreign film that I've seen so far. Absolutely fantastic. It looks stunning on Blu-ray. Really, really well worth the upgrade, guys. It looks fantastic. Brilliant storyline, brilliant cast of characters. Love the dark fantasy themed setting throughout the whole film. Just an absolutely amazing film. So that's Pan's Labyrinth. The next one is Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. Now I haven't actually seen it yet. However, I'm currently sort of exploring a lot of foreign films at the moment. Really enjoying them actually, and I've heard nothing but good things about the film. The whole crime, thriller, murder, mystery storyline really, really interests me, and I think I'm going to love it. So that's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And the next one is a George A. Romero's classic, Night of the Living Dead. This film started the whole zombie genre, and it's an absolute classic. Love it. And this is there's actually 2 UK editions on the Blu-ray, and I think I've picked up the better one. Just show you the back there. It actually comes with the George A. Romero documentary. I believe the other one does not, and I also believe the other one, the transfer is slightly inferior to this one. So yeah, absolute classic, Night of the Living Dead. And I'll just quickly show the last 2. I'm wanting to do a separate sort of unboxing and just discuss them a bit more, but we have the first complete season of V. Absolutely phenomenal sci-fi series. Highly recommend it. And of course the 80s childhood classic, The Goonies. I will be doing a separate unboxing for these 2 Blu-rays, so stay tuned for that. Well, that's it for part 1 of my DVD and Blu-ray update. Feel free to rate, comment, subscribe and discuss these films if you've seen them. And until next time, thanks for watching.